I 100% stand behind Dave Chappelle and support him in the controversial issue that he's currently going through. If you're unaware of what is going on, Dave Chappelle is one of the best comedians we've ever had on planet Earth. Some people, including me, think that he's the GOAT of comedy, the greatest to ever do it. He had a Netflix special come out called The Closer. And in The Closer, he made some trans jokes that put him under hot water. The trans community, after watching the jokes that Dave Chappelle made on The Closer, were up in roar. They were angry. And they went on Twitter and said that Dave Chappelle should be cancelled because he's dangerous and he's harmful to the LGBT community, especially to the trans community. And on Friday, the October 8th, people working in Netflix that are part of that community decided to boycott Netflix and walk out. And they were walking around Netflix with signs that said, "Netflix, you're a joke, you are dangerous to the LGBT community, Dave Chappelle is dangerous, he should be cancelled, his Netflix special should be taken away," and start actually promoting people that are part of the LGBT community. And you had people on the other side of that protest as well that were in support of Dave Chappelle. They were holding signs, "I support Dave Chappelle, I support his right to make a joke." And people were calling them transphobic. People were saying their signs that said, "I support Dave Chappelle," is harmful, is dangerous, is fascist. And it was just plain stupid. But what are my reasons that I stand behind Dave Chappelle in this whole controversy? There are many reasons why I support Dave Chappelle. The first reason why I stand behind Dave Chappelle is a lot of these people that are boycotting, that are losing their shit on Twitter or want to cancel Dave Chappelle, actually haven't watched the whole special. They've only heard other people talk about it. They've literally copy and pasting what other people in their community are saying. They haven't watched it. They don't know what Dave Chappelle said. They didn't hear the story about Daphne that he made in the Netflix special, that beautiful story they told about the comedian Daphne who supported Dave Chappelle when his first Netflix special came out and said that Dave Chappelle has every right to make trans community jokes. He's my friend and I know that he's not harmful to the trans community. But the LGBT community bullied her. They bullied her so much that she committed suicide. And she also has a kid. How sad is that? They bullied her so much that she didn't want to live anymore. The community that she's part of. And the main thing he said that everyone missed, that's part of that community. He clearly said in the special, he has nothing to be upset about with the trans community. He actually supports the trans community, that he has many friends that are part of the trans community. The one thing that he wants is what they have, is how they were able to get equality so fast that the black community could not get. That's what he wants. He wants to be like them. He wants the equality that they have. Black people were enslaved in 1800 and they're still treated like shit. And when you look at the trans community, guess what? You make a joke about them, make a video about them, you talk about them, cancelled. Your career is done, it's over. And when Dave Chappelle said that, it made sense to me. He just wants to be treated like how they're treated. He wants the equality that they have achieved. He wants that for the black community. He wants to be like them. And the only people he actually has issue with is white people. So that's the first reason, is that they haven't actually watched the whole special. They see other people in the community up and roar about it. Guess what? They just copy and paste and they put that on Twitter, "Cancel Dave Chappelle, he's dangerous to the community." Come on. The second reason I stand behind Dave Chappelle, he's a comedian. He's making jokes. He has every right to make jokes about any community. He's a comedian. When comedians make jokes about a community, the hate does not rise in that community. Studies have shown that when comedians talk about other races, they talk about other sexes, they even talk about touchy subjects like rape. They talk about touchy subject like the LGBT community. the hate does not rise in that community. It does not. People actually get closer to that community. People actually learn about that community struggle through the comedian. They actually get closer with the community. And you create a bond. There's no hate. You actually make them human to other people. You actually realize what those people have gone through and you go, wow, I didn't realize that. And while you're making those jokes, people that are part of that community feel normal. They feel part of a society. Because they're like, you know what? That comedian's actually making a joke. And he's making a joke about me. And guess what? He's making a joke about everyone else. That means he respects me. He goes out of his way to make a joke about me. That must mean that he respects it. Because he respects me. Because he's spending time in his house and wherever he's doing his storytelling, he's actually spending time with my people, and then he's writing those stories. So you gain more respect for that person. The reason why I stand behind Dave Chappelle is because he made jokes about everyone, and only one community was up in roar. He's made jokes about the black community from the day he started comedy. He's made jokes about the black community, and guess what? All these LGBT community, all these people were, guess what? They were up and they're standing and they were laughing their asses off when he's making those black jokes, when you're saying the N-word. Everyone, all of these LGBT community were laughing their asses off. When he was making jokes about the white, guess what? The same LGBT community that are up in war, they were happy, they were laughing their asses off. They were on the floor crying, laughing. Oh my God, that's so funny. When he was making jokes about women, guess what? All the LGBT community were losing their shit and laughing in laughter. And then somehow he made jokes about that community, and that community just lost its shit. Just what? This is wrong. How dare you make comedy about us? How dare you? How you can't make jokes about us. It's harmful. But you were just laughing a minute ago when he was talking about black people being on welfare. You were just laughing, and 2 minutes ago when he was talking about the drug problems, when he's talking about opioids in the white community, you're fine with that. But now he jokes about this. Oh, no, you can't do that. That's wrong. That's fully wrong. That's harmful. You're hurting me. Oh my God. And that comes to my fourth point. And my main point, why I am standing behind Dave Chappelle in this whole situation, is that the trans community, the LGBT community, especially the trans community, think that they're better than us. Think that they're on a pedestal. That they deserve more rights than everyone else. You can't make jokes about them. You can't talk about them. You can't discuss the issues that they're facing. No. You can't do any of that. Only they're allowed to do that. They can talk about you. They can talk about your issues. They can talk about your race. But no, you cannot talk about them. And somehow, we've gone into a part of our society where the trans community have put their struggle, the pain that they have gone through, and equated that to the black struggle. And I'm sorry. No, you haven't. You have not struggled like the black people have. Black people have struggled since 1800. You have struggled 20, 30 years. Your struggle is not the same. No. We need to get this point across. Your struggle is not the same as black people. I want to make this point clear, because some of you don't get it. I'm sorry. You were a white male. You were a white male your entire life. You were born in privilege. You had privilege throughout your entire life. And one day you thought, you know what? I like being a woman. I think I might be a woman. And you cut your penis off. But until then, you were a white male. You had all the privilege that a white male has. And after that ended, you were still white. You're just a white woman. You're still privileged. Don't forget that. Do not forget that. A black person was black, and they've always been black. Somehow, their community has equated their struggle with the black struggle. Black people have been struggling for 200, 300 years, and they still haven't gone back to equality. US is still segregated. There's still societies where it's only black people and only white people. Do not put your struggle against the black people. And I stand behind Dave Chappelle, because when I went on Twitter and I saw that community write on tweets, right in the Twitter, how does Dave Chappelle does not know how it feels to be a minority, does not know how it feels to be different in a society. He does not know the struggle that I've gone through. He has never struggled in his life. Dave Chappelle is a black man. He's a black man of the age of 40 years old. You don't think he has struggled? Are you kidding me? My man was born broke poor, and now he's one of the richest people we have in society. You tell me he has not struggled? And you have? You, when you were born in your middle class family, where you had all the privilege, you went to the best schools, you got yourself a college education, but you struggled more than a black man. Why? Because you felt like you were a woman, but you were born a man. Fifth reason why I stand behind Dave Chappelle is because he keeps it real all the time. He knows everything. My man walked away from $50 million. He keeps it real all the time. He tells it like it is. Sixth reason, and the last reason why I stand behind Dave Chappelle, is the person that was actually leading the Netflix boycott, Ashley Marie Preston. She had some wild tweets come out about her. And guess what? 10 years ago, that lady, she was racist. She was very, very, very racist to the Asian community. And she came out and said that, oh, they're just coming out and they're trying to stop me. That's why these tweets are coming out. And I was actually on meth that time. I was in a good mental health spot. But I've improved. I've gotten better. So you can't say Dave Chappelle's done the same? Can we let Dave Chappelle do the same? Can we let him sit down with the LGBT community and actually realize their pain, actually understand their pain and get better? Why do we have to cancel him? Why do we have to cancel? Why are you in uproar about him then? Why did you go through a situation, got better, and not want someone else to do the same? I'm confused. That's why I 100% stand behind Dave Chappelle.